Hi everyone, Eric here. Thanks for tuning in into this special edition of a video. Today is Christmas, so wherever you are, wish you happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. And to those friends that's taken their time to write to us, wishing everyone here at DAKOYU a happy holidays, there are no other words to put it. Simply incredible. Um, we haven't met each other in person. Hopefully one day we will. But this connection is simply incredible, and it drives us to do what we do. It makes everything just that much more enjoyable. We do had a couple friends that written in. They've switched out some of the implements on the Reborn. After putting it back on, the liner lock will not engage properly. So let's say the liner lock will stay on the inside. Now the reason that happens is because all the parts are produced with an ever so slightly bigger dimensions, so that can allow for some tolerance difference as well as better engagement. So in other words, once you break it in, it shall engage securely and firmly without having the tools flop around. Now in order to do that, simply get yourself a piece of firm yet also soft material, piece of wood. This is my adjusting block. I've personally tested many of the tools, and some of them did require a little bit more adjustment, so that's where the magic happens. Or you can also get some foam blocks, preferably slightly firmer ones, otherwise you'll be here all day. Even just some rags would do as well. Just bunch them up and have a soft impact surface. Now to do the adjustment, you will want to open up the implement, whichever one you are adjusting. Just take the saw as an example. Now what you want to do is just open it up as much as you can, have it face down on the soft block, and just gently give it a few taps. And then check for function to see if the lock has engaged or not. Now for example, my lock engages pretty much perfectly. Now if I tap it a couple times, there will introduce the lock to a further position, as you can see right there. Now if I tap it even more, you'll see the lock will probably go to the very outside. Now with this step, you should be able to engage the lock onto the biting meeting surface, the bevel, as you can see right there. Now, once it's being engaged, you can try it again. So after a few times, if the bevel is still not engaging properly, so what you want to do is start with the same step, tap it in, get the liner lock in position. Now you want to flip the tool over upside down. Now you're tapping the other way. So by tapping the other way, you're introducing a lot of compression to this particular area. So it will effectively shorten or bend, in other words, the liner lock piece ever so slightly in order to get the correct clearance. Now you do not want to do this over too hard, or once you bend the liner lock out of alignment and you have introduced too much play in between, it would be very difficult to fix it again. Now I have done that before. I've had my own unit had the liner lock bent way out of shape. It did require me to jam some flat bits underneath and with the hammer slowly bring the liner lock back to a straight position, and after that you'll be able to adjust again. So we want to do it once in the right way. So once the liner lock has been engaged, flip it over, simply tap 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 and check for function, see if it engages perfectly. If it doesn't, still the same tap, maybe 5 more times, 1 2 3 4 5. Check for engagement. If that still doesn't work, maybe then you can increase the tapping force ever so slightly. You want to do as little correction as possible so you do not overcorrect it. Now in the end, what you want to do, especially with the saw, because when the saw is working away, you'll be applying a lot of downward pressure. So the liner lock will engage more and more as you use it. So to me, at least for the saw, if your liner lock could engage, it doesn't even have to be perfectly in the middle. As long as the entire liner lock is clearing the side of the implement, I would say that would be good enough, because as you use it, it will slowly wear its way in. Now that way you will have a firm locking tool for a longer period of time. So yeah, it will be the same as adjusting all other implements. Let's say for the knife, most of these came with a straight blade, but a serrated middle part separate main blade is available if you want to try it out. Now after you swap that in, you pretty much need to engage the lock as well. For example, oh, this one. Yeah, everything just works perfect on this one, so it's hard to demonstrate if it's not engaging very great. Take something probably even softer than the wood, because you do want to protect the edge of the blade instead of honing or sharpening it again. So a rag would be preferable. Well, just simply give it a tap, a couple taps away, and you will slowly work its way in. Yeah, same thing. To shorten the liner lock, simply flip it over. Now, with this, definitely keep your fingers out of the way, just in case for any accidental closures, you don't want to cut yourself. So just give it a couple taps, and then turn it around, right? So the actual force required to adjusting the liner lock would sound something like this, right? As you can see, the lock has definitely over-engaged after a huge tap, but still easily collapsible and works great with no movement to the tool. Now, simple as that. If you have any questions, write to us again. We'll be more than happy to help. And in any case, happy holidays, warmest wishes, stay warm. Bye.